The CSS controls the appearance of the HTML elements such as the font, color, layout and more. #FF and 5733. So this is a shade of the red color what I am giving. What is this padding? So here they specify inside the element between the content and the border. Shadows are created using the properties like shadow color, shadow blur, shadow offset X and offset Y. Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of the Multimedia Animation. I am Sanjana, Faculty of BCA Department, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So, in our previous session, we have learned how we can draw the images, the curves and also the gradients. In today's sessions, we will be learning what do you mean by the HTML5 and how we can style and colors those things, and the canvas, text and font, and also the canvas pattern and the shadow, canvas save and restore states, and at the last that is the canvas translation. So as I said, the canvas is drawing the graphics using the script and the get context method, that is the rendering context method. So now here the first thing is we will be learning what is this HTML5 styles and colors. So in our previous session of the SVG HTML5, there we have seen what is the colors, and also in the HTML5 or the HTML we have seen what is the font, what are the different tags, what are the colors and what are the different list properties, etc. So now here in particularly we will be learning the HTML5 styles and colors. So here you can see there are various styles and colors that the elements uses in the CSS. So CSS means the cascading style sheet. And the CSS controls the appearance of the HTML elements such as the font, color, layout and more. So HTML means it is for structuring the web page, whereas CSS means it is styling the web page. So here the main thing, the CSS will control the HTML or the web page for the font, color, layouts and more. And here the first is the setting colors. So now we have created a web page using the HTML5 and now we want to add the colors. So the first thing is setting the colors. So here there are several ways to set the colors in CSS, and the first is naming the color, that is the named color. So here we can use the named colors in CSS such as red, blue, green, etc. So it is a named color, means we will be giving the name of the color. For example, like color red. So here the color is the property what we are using and red is the value what we are giving to the color property. This is a text color. And here you can see another example, background color, and here that is blue. So now here I am giving the color in a named way. So the next one is hexadecimal color codes. Now we have seen the named color. The next one is the hexadecimal color codes. So here the color can also be represented using the hexadecimal code, which consists of the 6 characters that are #RRGGBB. So here what is this R, G and B? So here the R represent it is a red color and the G represent it is a green and B represent it is a blue color. So example here you can see I have given #FF and 5733. So this is a shade of the red color what I am giving, and here the color what I have given is in the form of the hexadecimal. How? Because here at the starting or the predefined, like we are giving hash with the followed hexadecimal code, and here background color that is also I am giving with the #33FF57. So this is the background color which we are giving in a hexadecimal format. So here that is the 6 character. We can also give in a 3 character like #R, G and B, which is available in the HTML5. So the next one we have seen the hexadecimal named, and the next is the RGB, that is the red, green, blue. So here this is a method what we are using, and here you can see we can define the colors by specifying the amount of the red, green and blue color. So here I have given RGB 255, 0, 0. So this represent, that is the maximum color what I have given is red color. Why? Because the green and the blue is at the 0, whereas the red color is at the maximum point, that is the 255. So this one gives you the color of the red. And the next, here you can see what I have given, the starting two, that is the red and green is at the 0, and the last, the blue is at the 255, which will be giving you the maximum, that is the blue color. So the next one here, again I have given the example. So this will give you in a red color. So background color RGB. So here you can see I have given the maximum to the green color. So this will give you the background color of the green. So here the 0 represent it is a nil, whereas 255 represent it is at the maximum level. So again here another thing, the method is called as a HSL method. So this is the hue, saturation and the lightness. So whenever we are editing our photos, we have came across these things, that is the hue, saturation and the lightness. So here in the HTML5 we can use this HSL for the web page what we are creating. So what is this? So here the color can also be defined in HSL format, that is the hue is the color type of the angle what we are giving. So here whenever we are giving hue, it will be in a angle, it will be in a degree. And next, the saturation is the intensity, that is in the percentage, and the lightness is how the light or the dark the color is. So this is also in a percentage. So here you can see what I have given, the color, the property I have taken color, and here the method what we are using is a HSL, and here the hue is at the 0, and here the S saturation I have given 100%, and the L means lightness I have given 50%. So another example, that is background color. Again here you can see I have given hue in a 120, that is 120 degree or the angle what we have given, and here the lightness and the saturation I have given 100% and 50%. So that was about the HSL and RGB. The next, here we are having text style. So now we came across the coloring, how colors can be used in the HTML5. The next one is how we can style the text. So here we are having different font families. So here, for example, font family Arial, Sans Serif. So these are the families of the font what we can use in our HTML. By specifying these things, we will be having the font family for the text or the paragraph what we are taken. The next is the font size. Now we came across the family. The next one is the size of the font or the text what you are using. So here we will be setting the size of the text. So here the property we will be using font size, and here we will be giving the size of the text or the font in the pxem rem, that is in the pixel or in the rem or element related thing. So here maximum what we have given is a 16px, so the text will be in the 16px format. The next is a font weight. So here it controls the thickness of the font, that is the bold, normal, lighter. So it will give you the weightage of the text or the font what we are using. So here the property we will be using font weight, and here bold. So this is a thing, the text will be in a bold format. And the next, here we can also give in a number or a numeric way. So this will give you a normal weight when we specify in a number. So that was about the font family, font size and the font weight. Next, we can also use the text align. So here we will be aligning the text. So here the text align will be the property what we are giving, and these are the values. So here center, right, left. So we can give whether the text should be at the bottom or at the center or at the right or left. The next one is a text decoration. So we can also decorate the text what we have given in a paragraph. So here you can underline, overline or a strike through the text, and here we will be using the property text decoration, and here we will be giving the value what we want. For example, I have given underline and line through. So this will underline the paragraph or the header or the text what you want to have as a underlined. So that was about the text align and text decoration. Next here we are having box model. So what is this box model? So here you can see the box model defines how elements are displayed, and it includes the padding, borders and margins. So when we see a HTML or a web page, we can see there will be a clean structured way. So that can be done using this padding, border and margin. So here, what is this padding? So here they specify inside the element between the content and the border. So padding will give you a spread out spreading. So here it will be inside between the element of the content and the border of the web page. So here, what is this border? A border around the element what we are creating in the HTML. And the next, margin, as the name say, it is the space outside the element what we have taken. So here we have the example. So here you can see padding, border, margin. I have given all this with a px, that is in the pixel, and the border is solid black what we have given with a 2px. So these are the example how we can give the padding, margin and also the border. So here we can also give the padding, margin or the border in a shorthand property and with a longhand property. So in our previous session we have learned what is this shorthand and what is this longhand. So when you specify all things in a single line, it is a shorthand, whereas you specify each individually, it will be a longhand. So the pattern or the border or even the margin can be given in a shorthand as well as the longhand. Longhand, for example, like pattern bottom, it will be 20px, or the margin top, it will be 30px. So we can specify these things of the HTML5 style and the colors in a different format. So the next concept what we are going into is the pattern and shadow in the canvas. We have came across the rectangle, how we can draw the rectangle, how we can have the desired curve, how we can have the images. So here the next topic we will be learning how we can have the pattern and shadow using the canvas. As I said, the canvas will be using the JavaScript and the rendering context to draw even the pattern and the shadow. So what is this shadow and what is this pattern? So here a pattern is an object. So a pattern means it is an object that repeats an image or the color at defined intervals and can be applied as a fill style for the shape. So here a pattern means it is like an object which repeats itself. So here the pattern can be created using a create pattern method. So when we were learning about the Bezier curve, we had a method that is the curve to or a Bezier curve to or quadratic curve to. So here when we want to create a pattern in the canvas, we will be having a method that is create pattern method. So here we are having an example or the syntax. So here var, that is the variable what we will be taking, will be declared with a var keyword. So var pattern ctx create pattern, and here we will be passing the image and the repetition. So here when the pattern as I specified is the object which will repeat. So here you can see it is having a repetition. And what is this repetition? So here you can see repetition, repeat, repeat x, repeat y and no repeat. So the first thing is what is this image? So here the image, the canvas or the video element that we want to use as a pattern. So here the image is what we want to use as a pattern, we will be giving to it. And the next, repetition, a string that specifies how the pattern should be repeated possible values. So the first one is a repeat. So the pattern repeats both horizontal and vertical. So when you specify repeat means it will repeat in a horizontal or in a vertical format. The next is repeat x and y. So this will repeats only on the horizontal when you specify in x, and when you specify y it repeats on a vertical. So the next is a no repeat. So the pattern does not repeat. So here we are having a simple example of the HTML, how we can draw the pattern using the canvas. So here we have taken the script type and it is a JavaScript. And next here we are having a function and it is a draw shape. So this is the function what we have taken, and here we have taken var canvas and document.getElement by ID canvas. In a previous sessions, we have learned the canvas. We will be using a canvas tag with the attributes of it. So here I have directly taken the my canvas with the var canvas. And here you can see if canvas.getContext. So when the get context is matched, then var ctx canvas.getContext 2D. And next here var image, here new image. So here I am creating the image for the object of the pattern what we have taken. So next image.source. So here I am giving the source to the image what we have taken. So the next here we have taken the images, we have set the canvas, we have used the function draw shape. Inside that we have taken the element by ID my canvas, and we have also set the get context. So next here when the image is loaded, so here it will create and apply the pattern. So for that image.onload is equals to the function we are calling. So here var pattern, and here I am using create pattern method and image and repeat. So it will repeat, that is the thing what we have learned in previous slide, that is repeat means it will repeat both horizontally and vertically. And next fill style, the pattern what we have taken, and here the pattern will be in a rectangle format, and I have given the things that is there for the fill rect, that is 00 canvas width and canvas height. So if that does not go, then give me an alert that you need to have a Safari or the Firefox to have this pattern. And the script is closed, the body, and here the canvas ID, my canvas width and height. So here inside the body you can see onload I have given. So this onload I have mentioned here image.onload, and here draw shape is assigned to the onload. This is a simple example how we can have. So this is the output for the program what we have created. So next, the another thing is a shadow. So how we can create a shadow using the canvas. So how we can give a shadow to the text or the images what we are creating. How we can specify that in a canvas. So here what do you mean by this shadow? A shadow in the canvas context allows to add the shadow effect to the shape or the text. And here shadows are created using the properties like shadow color, shadow blur, shadow offset X and offset Y. So here there are different methods where we can have a shadow to the text or the object or the shape what we are creating. So here the syntax, the basic syntax of it. So here the shadow color, we can give the color, and here the method like shadow blur means blur radius we will be giving. Shadow offset X, it is the offset of the X, and here shadow offset Y means it is the offset of the Y. So here we will be setting the color of the shadow, what is the color we want to have in a shadow, and here it will set the blur radius for the shadow, and here horizontal distance of the shadow. So this will give you the horizontal distance, and here this will give you the vertical distance of the shadow. So this is the basic syntax of the shadow what we are creating using a canvas. So here how we can specify those things. So the first one is a shadow color. So here we will be specifying the color of the shadow, and it can valid to the CSS color. So that is the RGB or the hexadecimal or the named colors. So here example I have taken the RGBA, and here I have given the thing for the color. So here the color it is null, we have not given any color, and here shadow blur. So here we will be giving in a radius format. So here the blur radius, higher value created more blur than the shadow. So when you give higher value, it creates more blur of the shadows what we are giving. Next, the offset X and offset Y. So here the horizontal offset distance of the shadow and the vertical distance of the shadow will be given. So these are the basic things what we have seen while creating the shadow using the canvas. So here an example how we can create the shadow in the HTML5. So as usual, the title, that is the canvas shadow example, and here I have taken inside the body the canvas tag and I have given the attributes of it, and here the script is begin. So here we have taken two variable canvas and ctx, and here we have given the element by id and get context 2d. So now after that, here you can see what are the things what we want has been set it. So the color what we want I have set it, the shadow blur 20, shadow offset 15 and 15, and here draw the rectangle with a shadow, that is we will be drawing a rectangle, and here I have given its thing, that is the 50 50 200 150, that is the coordinate of the rectangle what we have specified, and fill style I have given blue color to the rect to be filled, and here we have the shadow of the image what we have created or the object what we have created. So this is a simple example how we can give the shadow to the image or the text what we will be creating using the canvas in the HTML5. The next topic is the canvas, the save and restore states. So how we can have the save and restore in the canvas. So what are this method? The first one is a save method. A save method saves the current drawing context state including the transformation style and other setting. And the next one is the restore method. So this method restores the drawing context to the state saved by the last save call if no save was called before the restore has no effect. So here we are having mainly the two methods, that is the save and the restore. So the restore will be applicable when we have the save method called. If not, it doesn't work in a proper way. So here we are having the syntax. So the first one is a context save, that is the method we are calling. So here it saves the current state of the canvas context. The next is the restore method, and here it restores the last saved state of the canvas context. So here we are having simple example how we can have the save and restore method. So here you can see the title what I have given. Here the title canvas save and restore example, and here I have taken the canvas ID with its attribute and the script tag with two variables, that is the canvas and ctx, with get element by id my canvas and the get context 2d. So the next, here we will be having a rectangle to be drawn with a fill rect method having x, y and the height and width. And here the fill style will be blue color, and here we are calling the save method. So here it will save the current canvas what we have given, that is the fill rect with the color blue color. And the next, here we will be changing the color of the rect what we have created to the red color, and again here we will be drawing another rect, that is the fill rect with x, y and the height and width. Again here you can see now I am calling the restore method. So now the restore method is called, what it will do, it will restore the canvas state of the previous saved state. So here the previous one was the blue color, it will be restored again where we have changed the red color. So here you can see the example how it works, and here again we have the fill rect so that we can have the original one what we have created. So when we have the restore method called, so it will be having the restoration of the original thing what we have created. So in the middle we have changed the color to the red color with the fill style, and we have called the restore method. So it will again have the same color of the origin what we had. The next what we are having is the canvas translation. So now we have seen the restore and save method. At the last, that is the translation, how we can do that in the canvas. So what is this translation? So the translation refers to shifting the drawing operation on the canvas by certain amount and is done using the translate method. So here we will be having a method called as a translate method. So this method we will be using in the canvas to translate the thing what we have drawn, that is the graphic or the shapes or the drawings that we created in the canvas. So here this method is a canvas 2D context, and the translate will be having XY coordinate, and this method moves the entire coordinate system of the canvas by the specified x and y values what we have given. And here you can see we are having the syntax. In the syntax, that is the context, translate x and y. So here the x is the distance to move the origin along the horizontal axis, and y the distance to move the origin along the vertical axis. Now here we will be having an example how we can create the canvas translate. So again the title, that is the canvas translation example, and here I have taken the canvas tag with its attribute and the script tag, and here you can see we are having the variable 2, that is the canvas and ctx with the get element and get context. Next here we will be drawing a square. So to draw the square I have given fill rect with the x, y, height and width 50-50, and here fill style is blue color. So here this will create a square with the color blue. And the next here you can see we have taken the method called as the translate. Now I am using the ctx translate 150 and 150 at the x-axis as well as the y-axis. So this will translate to the x-axis 150 and y-axis at the 150 point of the coordinate. The next we are having a square to be drawn. Again I have taken the ctx fill rect, and here the style fill what I have given is the red color, and here we will be translating again, and here I have given 50, 50. So it will move to the 50, 150 plus 50 to the 200. So it is moving with a translation in the axis of the x and y. And here again we have taken another fill rect, and here we have the thing that is filled in a green color, and here we will be creating the square and the script tag is closed. So here you can see the example how the thing is translated. So here the first one we had the blue color, and the middle we had the red, and the last we will be having the green square. So this way we will be have a translation of the thing what we have created using the canvas. So the method here we will be using is a simple translate method with the x and y axis. So this is the example how we can have a translation of the square box what we have created using the fill rect, fill style and the translate method. So here in the next session we will be learning about the canvas rotation, scaling and the transform, and HTML5 canvas composition, and at the last that is the canvas animation. So these are the things we will be learning in our next session. Thank you.